Hey, hey, spooky kids. Broadcasting from the crossroads of America in the heart of the great Midwest, this is Into the Night, and I am James Mitchell. I'm just going to move things along tonight because we've got just a short amount of time allotted this evening with my guest, who I appreciate to be here tonight. Again, we have a very special guest who is redefining the art of debunking with his sharp humor and relentless quest for the truth. Known for his hilarious and incisive videos, he takes on the most controversial ghost hunting channels, exposing fake paranormal evidence with a charm that's won him over 26,000 subscribers in just over a year. Whether he's calling out Mindseed TV, Sam and Colby, Twin Paranormal, or even the legendary Ed and Lorraine Warren, he does it with a blend of wit, integrity, and a perfectly timed movie quote. He's a devoted father, an advocate for genuine investigations, as well as using some goddamn common sense. Please give a warm welcome to the Side-Eye Guy.
Wow, that's a very flattering intro. It's the most flattered I think I've ever felt.
Well, no, I try to get it right. You are again somebody that I absolutely appreciate. Participants in the chat, we've got Blueberry329, Candy7, CostaNet, Cynthia Bossy, Debunk the Junk, It's the Constanza, Michael Burkeen, Punky B, Rob Linklater, Steph Cuervo Queen, Wayne Dawson, Wisdom, and Anthony Lancelin. I want to thank everybody for being with us tonight. And as usual, make sure to keep your questions during the last segment of the interview. Tonight we have 90 minutes, so we're going to do 45 minutes of an interview with Mr. I Guy here. And then we'll switch to questions for the last 45 minutes. And at that time, you can do a call in if you would like, or just ask your question in the chat. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. It's going to sound like a sort of, can I swear? Am I allowed to swear? It's absolutely fine. If you don't want me to swear, I'll do my best not to.
Oh no, you can do whatever you want, my friend. You can swear. You can.
Okay, I'll try and keep it clean. I don't want to be that guy, but it ticked over to 27,000 subscribers a couple of hours ago.
Oh, nice, very good. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
That is awesome. Well deserved. Well deserved. Let's just start at the beginning. What inspired you to start your YouTube channel and focus on debunking the paranormal? What started that?
I've always kind of wanted it. I always liked the idea of doing a YouTube channel. By no means did I ever think it was going to be in any way, shape, or form successful. But I like the idea of. I've always been a bit like the class clown. I've always kind of enjoyed making people laugh, and I've always kind of enjoyed, when we're down the pub and just trying to make people laugh. I've always kind of enjoyed that. But I'm not really one for, as odd as this might sound, I'm not really one for attention, which is a big reason why I wear the mask. I like being able to separate what I do on YouTube to my real world sort of thing. So I always liked the idea of doing a YouTube channel, but I never knew what exactly I wanted to do. I was always like, is there one topic in particular that I feel strongly or passionately about that I could do a whole channel, that I could make funny? So I'm a big football soccer guy, okay. But I was like, I don't really want to get into that. There's probably tens of millions of channels littered all throughout YouTube with varying degrees of sport and soccer and all the rest of it. So I was like, maybe not. So I was like, what else is there? I was like, some other hobbies, interests I'm into. And then one day, it was actually Halloween 2022. I watched a Simon Colby video, and it came up on my thing. It was during Halloween. I was surfing around YouTube, and I was watching my favorite horror scenes from horror movies, scenes from horror movies. And one of my suggested videos came up with Sam and Colby with his really impressive, scary looking thumbnail of these two pale, wide-eyed kids, bloodshot eyes, and the blood had been drained from their face, and they looked terrified. And the title was a demon attacked us or something along those lines. Demon caught on camera, demon attacked us, the demon house, whatever it might be. Sure. Demon was in the title. I'm like, okay, what's this about? Before that, I didn't really watch too many ghost hunting videos. Like I watched Most Haunted, which was very big in the UK. I'd seen a little bit of Ghost Adventures because it's hilarious, but I never watched Ghost Hunters at the time. And I clicked on this video, and I just thought it was comedy gold. I thought it was so funny. First of all, credit where credit's due. I thought Sam and Colby are very good on camera, and they could hold a video quite well. There's a lot of other channels that can't do it as well as them. Sure. There's a big reason why they're as successful as they are, but the claims that they were making was ludicrous, and right. I thought it was funny. I really, that's why I started out with. It wasn't anything about. I didn't think I would ever be able to prove that what they're doing is faking. I still, to this day, think that to get a 100% debunk, like beyond the shadow of a doubt, is rare. You can look at something with objectivity and common sense and intuition, and form a valid opinion, I believe. But can you prove
right
someone was pushed, was them falling over, or them, making the most of it? No, you can't prove it. It's a personal experience.
Absolutely.
So to get a 100% debunk, like something you can prove that someone has lied or faked something, isn't common. So I never really thought I would ever be a debunker. But so I watched one of these videos, and I kind of became a little bit, not obsessed, but I don't know. I became a bit of I really enjoyed the hate watching of it. Like, although the hate watching, it wasn't really hate watching. It was like just comedy. Honestly, I thought it was so funny. Each one, I couldn't get enough of it. So I kept watching Sam and Colby, and then I got a suggested video exploring with Josh, and I liked him as well. And then I got into one of Twin Paranormal, and I instantly didn't like it. I just didn't like the way they did it. I still don't like it to this day. And then eventually, I came across where exploring with Josh, Seth Borden, Sam and Colby all went to Paranormal Hospital. And for those of you who've seen that video, you may know what I'm talking about. There was an incident that happened there where a tripod fell over. Okay. And it was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. It was one of the dumbest things. And they were, all four of them were freaking out.
Right, of course.
And they genuinely seemed to believe. And I've spoken to Josh since, and Josh still thinks that was paranormal. And it was so obviously not.
Yeah.
And I like the whole idea for the channel. And I apologize for taking so long to answer your question. But the whole idea of the channel came from that moment. Like that, I thought it was so ludicrous, and I laughed so hard. And I wanted to make a channel. Like the idea of, I didn't know the name of. I didn't have the idea of calling it the name of the Side-Eye Guy at that point. I didn't have. I didn't really know the direction I wanted to take the channel. I just knew I wanted to react and laugh at ridiculous YouTube paranormal claims.
Yeah. That's awesome. It gets me to my next question, which, where did the Side-Eyed Guy kind of, because at this point it's just an idea. You're like, okay, this is something I think I could do. This is something that I enjoy watching and making fun of it on my own. You knew that there was a direction that was possible, but obviously you wanted to keep your anonymity, and you developed this character, the Side-Eye Guy, who we know you as. Where did that come from?
So, I kind of knew early on that I didn't want to, I would prefer not to go by my name, my real name, and show my face. At the time, I had a young kid and a baby, and I just didn't like the idea. And by no means am I saying that I expected or thought that my channel would be massive. By no means. It's actually considerably bigger right now than I ever thought it would ever be. But I think it might have been a little bit more of if it turns out really bad, it might be embarrassing.
Sure.
To put my face to it. So, you know what I mean? It might have been a little bit of that, but I like the idea. I also kind of like the idea of a bit of mystery there. I don't know. Like, this, I say this often, like, this is far more interesting than the mug that's behind it. Like having like the mask is more interesting. And I'm aware that it's controversial. I'm aware a lot of people don't like the mask. Some people do, some people don't. That's absolutely fine. All said and done, it's my choice. So the mask was a decision, or I didn't even think I was ever going to go on camera. To start with, it was going to be artwork, just my voice and artwork. So the idea of the mask, because it started off with a very uncomfortable shoebox that I made together, and then the wonderful Elaine Baker, Creepy Caboodle, made this mask for me, and the Grim Reaper mask, and the one that's back there. She's planning on making a couple of other masks, and that really came about because I had a lot of people asking me to go live, and I didn't want to. I thought it was boring just to show a cartoon face,
right?
Which is everyone's calling me now, cartoon head boy. Thanks, Beardo. I just thought it'd be kind of boring to put just that image up there. I wanted people to see something, even if it's a mask. I still wanted people to see like a person,
right,
talking. So yeah, that's kind of like where the idea of the mask came from. The idea of like the channel in general. I watched a lot of other YouTubers before doing my own channel, and there was a lot that I was a lot of YouTubers that I kind of admired, and I liked the way they did. They structured their videos, and I was like, oh, maybe I could do that just with a twist on the paranormal, and just cut in and make a little sarcastic remark, or cut in and then like explain why I think that's nonsense, or whatever it might be. So yeah, like, you know, the Nostalgia Critic was a big one. I used to enjoy him a lot as a kid. There's a gaming YouTuber called Indie Mouse who's fantastic. He's also Australian. Okay. Yeah, there's been a few others. But yeah, that's kind of like where the idea came from.
Now, did you draw the initial cartoon yourself, or did you have somebody do that?
No, I have got like two left hands when it comes to drawing. No, I went on Fiverr and got a professional artist.
Yeah.
I know they're very simple drawings. I know they're not like, you know, it's not gonna be put up in an art gallery anytime soon. I know they're probably not difficult to make those drawings, but I can't draw at all. Yeah. So I had the idea of what I wanted it to look like, and then as going through Fiverr, I finally found an artist that had the style I was looking for, because I wanted something that looked cheap and cheerful. That's kind of what I wanted, like something that looked very simple.
Yeah.
Like me.
Yeah.
And I as soon as I saw this guy's artwork, I'm like, perfect. That's perfect. And I told him what I wanted the character to look like, and what I wanted, and he, brilliant, like, awesome guy.
Yeah,
awesome artist.
I find a lot of wonderful people on Fiverr. Yes, I've always had a good experience in Fiverr, and you can find somebody on there who's you know, you've got other things to do, and if you could take the load off of yourself in any way, shape, or form, well, that's worth it, isn't it?
100%. Yeah.
So, has your perspective? I mean, let's ask you this: your perspective on the paranormal. What is it? Let's start there with this question.
Depends what aspect of the paranormal. It's a very broad term, the paranormal, isn't it?
Sure.
I will say that I want it all to be true. Most of it, anyway. I want it to be true. It'd be great if make life more exciting, more interesting. If you know, there was ghosts and ghouls and Bigfoot and werewolves and vampires and, you know, doppelgangers, or you know, all this was like in our world. This was all, but like, I need evidence, and it's as simple as that. Yeah. I want to believe it, but my brain will not allow me to make leaps of extraordinary claims without sufficient evidence to back it up.
Right. Now, did the paranormal, was there any interest that it stemmed from something?
So when I was a kid, I believed I may have saw something with my mum and brother were present at the time. and I may have seen something. It was what we to this day we all kind of question, and we all still think we might have saw the same thing, which is interesting that we're all. But like, I was young. I was 12. My brother was 10, 9 or 10, and or maybe I was a bit younger. I can't really remember. And it could have been that my mum, being an adult who also believes in the paranormal, may have influenced us, and maybe it's shaped our memories. I know that's a thing that can happen. Sure. So I try and debunk myself with this all the time. But from memory, it was the underground tunnels at Dover Castle, and we all believed that we saw in this tunnel a young 20-something man in what I would describe as World War II attire walk through the wall and through another one. So the reason he was I'm not sure I'll explain it. The reason he was in World War II attire is because the underground tunnels at Dover Castle was a hospital. It was an active hospital during World War II.
Okay. Now you say the underground tunnels. I've heard of the London Underground, and it's reported to be quite haunted. Is that sort of the same thing? You'll have to forgive me because I live in the States and I don't know much about the subway system out there.
It depends. There's a lot of like they actually unearth tombs and things like that around London quite often. So I do believe there is a tourist attraction, and it always makes me a little bit skeptical because it is a tourist attraction. But what is true about it, it's called the London Bridge Experience in London, and a lot of people confuse London Bridge with Tower Bridge. They're completely different. London Bridge is actually quite unremarkable, really. It's just a bridge. Whereas Tower Bridge is the one with the gates that open up. They're right next to each other.
Okay.
They're very close to each other. But London Bridge has still got a lot of history. It was like the first, I believe it's the first bridge that London ever had to join over from the River Thames. Gotcha. But in this tourist attraction, it's where the bridge kind of goes down to the south of the city, the south bank of the city. They had to excavate some of it because they wanted the attraction built like inside that part of the bridge, if that makes sense, as it's coming down towards land. And they had to excavate some parts of it, and they discovered a tomb which they believed were bodies. You might have to fact check me. I'm almost certain that this is true, but it was many years ago that I read about this, so I could be wrong. We're talking like maybe 15 years ago that I read about this. But they discovered a tomb, and they believe it was several bodies that died, a lot of bodies, maybe like 20 or 30 even, and who died from the bubonic plague. And they used to just hide the bodies away there and brick them up. There's a lot of underground, and part of the tourist attraction now of the London Bridge Experiences they believe is haunted, which is a tourist attraction, so they're going to say that.
Right.
There are a lot. It's an ancient city. It is an ancient city, London.
Sure is.
So it is different to the tombs of Dover Castle in that they're obviously very, very old. But from what I understand about Dover Castle, those tunnels were built. It's probably like a medieval castle, and then pretty much left untouched. The difference with London is that over the centuries, it keeps expanding, and they keep using these underground bits, and they were forgotten about, and they used it for different things. So you're going from bodies buried during the bubonic plague. People would have hidden down there during the Great Fire of London because there really was very little wood under there, of course. During the Blitz of World War II, when the bombs were being dropped on London, people would have hidden down there, and some people died because the infrastructure of the underground was fell on top of them, horrible things. It would have been used. Such a vast history with London, with that underground stuff. And is there any truth to any of it being haunted? I don't know, but it would be so much fun to explore.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to do it would be amazing.
In fact, if anyone in chat or anyone could let me know if there is a haunted experience with underground tunnel, let me know, because if there's a website or something like that, can you forward it to me? Because I'd love to do something like that. That would be fascinating.
Yeah. Well, then, has your perspective on the paranormal changed at all since you've been debunking?
I possibly believe it even less.
Yeah.
So what I will say is now maybe more than ever, because now I'm going on these locations more. The want to see something is greater.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably believe in it less, but I want to be proven wrong even more.
Right. Yeah, that's
Nothing
fair.
will make me happy to be proven wrong. Nothing will make me happier than to have a real, genuine paranormal experience.
Yeah. And I mean, are you looking for? What do you think would seal the deal for you?
It's hard. It's a very difficult one.
Yep.
Because even though I believe I seen a full-body apparition as a kid, I'm still trying to explain it by being rational, by saying maybe I was influenced because I was so young, maybe I misremembered what I saw. So I understand that some people who are believers in the paranormal will get frustrated with skeptics like me saying things like that. I get that. I get it's frustrating that when you believe that something's happened or something's been seen or there's evidence, and then a skeptic comes along and goes, but even when you believe you've seen something, you may not have seen what you believe you saw. That can be frustrating. However, what I will say is, like, when I believed I saw that full-bodied apparition, even though I've got these explanations of what it could have been, it doesn't leave the fact that I believe I saw that, and that stays in my mind.
Right.
I'll never unsee what I believe I saw. Even if my memories are playing tricks on me, it's seared in my mind. Yeah. So that's why it's very difficult for me. And I understand anyone who believes they've had a paranormal experience, it's very difficult to undo what you believe you've seen or experienced.
Right.
But to answer your question, a full-bodied apparition would be a very big one, of course. I understand they're extraordinarily rare. Despite what many YouTube ghost hunters tell you, if you do believe you've seen a full-bodied apparition and you can't explain it, it's very, very rare for that to ever happen. I know clear communication with back and forths,
right,
with something would be a big one, and by that I mean, continued intelligent responses. So, like, on a scientific level, we're talking about a result that is being tested, measured, and having continuous results. Again, if that does even happen, very rare, if it even does.
Right. Yeah, no,
I don't know. Like something like if I believed I heard something whispered in my ear and I could hear clear as day what it was, that would be a big one too. If I could see no one was around me, but that's one of those things where it's like a personal experience is hard to debunk, or it's hard to prove. It goes both ways. A personal experience,
right?
So I guess with stuff like that, it ultimately comes down to what I want rather than what I want to prove to everyone else.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's good that you're aware of it that way, because perhaps you have that event at some point and I know what I saw. Holy crap, I just saw this, and that was for you. It was for you because now that you're a believer in hypothetical, of course, saying it to another skeptic, well, it's not going to be as profound for them as it is for you.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult place to be, and I understand because, I went looking for the same things, and it was me being extremely skeptical, and I understand exactly where you're coming from. It's good to remain skeptical no matter what, even though you have these experiences. Once you have it, you're going to want it again. Hearing voices and stuff like that, I have had that happen, and other people, my friend heard it too, and it's like one of those things. Still, I question it. I have to in order to be responsible. I feel you can't just sit on it and say, yep, that's what that was. It's just, I leave it at interesting. What do your friends and family think about what you're doing? Do they know, and do they have an opinion on it?
My dad is like of an age where he doesn't even know what YouTube is.
Okay.
So I just kind of don't tell him. It's probably easier that way. My mum very much likes my channel. My mum watches it all the time.
Yeah, well, mothers
it's nice for her because she gets to see because she still lives back in the UK.
Mm.
So she gets to see. I talk to her as much as I can, of course, but then she gets to see me a bit extra, whether it be live streams or videos or whatever. And yeah, she likes the channel very much, even though she's an avid believer in the paranormal.
Yeah.
One of the funny things actually is when my mum first found out that I was doing this channel, and we were. I had like maybe 100 subscribers, and she. I was talking about some of the videos already made, and I mentioned Twin Paranormal. Oh, I was Twin Paranormal, and I'm like, wow, my mum liked them. I was like, and now she doesn't. now she's seen through it, and she's seen what my criticisms of them are. But she liked Twin Paranormal to start with, which made my skin crawl.
Well, that's fantastic. I'm sure at a moment it's like, oh, this is awkward. Yeah. Yeah, mothers. God bless the mothers that they've always got your back, and it's good to hear that your mother is on board with what you're doing, especially since she's the one that shared that meaningful experience that you remember. It's very cool to even be able to bond further, later in life about it, because it's a question that you have and something that you want answered. All right, let me ask you this: what about, out of all of your debunks, what do you think was the most shocking debunk you did, where you were like, wow, I can't believe that these people were doing this, or whatever, what do you think impacted you the most, is the most shocking debunk you ever did?
I would say Mind Seed, and it's not that. I have to go with Mind Seed, and it's not because it's shocking that they are fake. I think we all kind of knew Mind Seed were fake, really. It's more the way they were doing it surprised me, and to be able to prove it. That was like I was saying earlier, it's hard to get like 100% debunk. Mind Seed was 100% debunk.
Totally.
So to prove that they were using Airbnbs that are not known to be haunted, they fabricated all the history about it. To see that they do that consistently, that to show 3 examples where they did that, and that they don't take care of the Airbnbs when they're there. They get bad reviews because they trash it. They go in areas of the Airbnb they shouldn't. They make up stories about dead children, or real stories. They use as inspiration real life tragedies as entertainment for their videos to make up a haunting. All that stuff, to me, it was pretty shocking. And it wasn't me that found this. I want to make that clear. It was another YouTuber, but. To then find out that they do use actors, because I was heavily suspicious of it, and then this other YouTuber found, I think his YouTube channel, which he's been taken down now, was called Mind Seed is Fake. But he's taken it down now, but you can still see that video in my most recent. I put it in my Mind Seed video.
Right.
But to see that, with beyond a shadow of a doubt, they use actors. That's it. It's 100%. This is an entertainment channel. They are fake.
Yeah.
So, and isn't it, for me, I think it was pretty obvious that Mind Seed are fake, but a lot of people it wasn't. And I get comments and they go, "Oh, Mind Seed are fake, no shit." And I'm like, yeah, but a lot of people were really, really surprised and hurt and disappointed that Mind Seed did this. Like, a lot of people did genuinely think Mind Seed were legit.
Yeah.
So even though I can see it's pretty obvious, I tried to not have that attitude of, it's not worth debunking this channel because it's so obviously fake. Like, what I find obviously fake, someone else does not, may not.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I'll have to admit, in the early days of Mind Seed, I ate it up. I enjoyed it quite a bit. And then things started sticking out to me, and I started noticing camera tricks. And then I started noticing... just like, well, this is too convenient. There's too much going on here. There's no way that somebody's going through something like this. This has to be this is unrealistic, and then
and
it just...
I think a big part of, like, when you say you like Mindset, I think there's a thing with a lot of people is it's the want.
Yes.
You want it to be real.
Yeah.
And that's a very interesting part of our psychology in general. Is when I go to ghost hunting locations and something happens, I hear a noise or a creak, I want it to be paranormal instantly.
Sure.
And that's something I'm trying to train myself out of. Let's ignore what I want it to be and let's focus on what it most likely is.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to these channels, people want, because especially Mindseed, they shoot it so well, it looks great, it looks creepy. Casey, by YouTube standards, is a decent actor. And we want this to be real. We want this to be legit and, scary. It makes it more scary that way, but it just isn't.
Yeah, I mean, and then when you have these people who are looking for answers, they're looking to these channels that are fooling them because they're going through some sort of hard time. They've lost somebody, or they're vulnerable, and then you find out that it's not real. Well, it's very hard for some people to admit that they've been taken.
And I think most of the anger I get from people who don't like me comes from people who are probably quite angry themselves that they've been fooled.
Yeah, projecting. Yeah, you deal with a lot of that. I've dealt with it too. And it's unfortunate because you really want to help these people, but sometimes people you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. It's that.
Yeah, also done. Like, you can't getting angry at debunkers because either we offer an opinion that differs from yours, or we expose the truth. That's on you to get angry about that.
Absolutely.
Like, you can by all means disagree with our opinion and all the rest of it, but some people take anger from that and take it way too far.
Yeah. Well, this is a perfect segue to my next question, which is, how do you handle situations where people accuse you of being biased or unfair because of your debunking? How do you handle that?
I am biased.
Fair enough.
I'm a skeptic. I'm a self-proclaimed skeptic. If that's what, and if by bias we mean I want to look at objectivity, and I will always want to find a rational explanation before I would ever entertain the notion of ghosts, then yeah, sure, I'm biased. I personally don't see that as being, if you want to call that bias, me being biased, then yes, I am biased. Personally, I don't call it bias. I just think that is the way every single person, investigator, enthusiast in the paranormal, that's how everyone should look at it. And it doesn't happen enough, because there's some people that believe in the most nutty things.
Yes.
And fine, if you want to go believe that, that's fine, but then don't attack other people that see through it.
Yeah, it's you can't please everybody, and it's not. It is interesting because I don't know that I would call it biased what you do. I think it's a fair point to say, and I saw somebody in the chat mention this earlier, extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof.
Yep.
And I don't think that there's anything unfair about that or biased. I think if you want the truth, then look for the truth, and just because you're not sold on something because of face value or whatever, which you should never be, it doesn't make you bad or unfair. I think it's actually extremely fair if you're looking at it from that point of view, which is what the real world would look at it as anyway. So kudos to you for that, and
Thank you.
yeah, I mean, it's just outrageous that anybody would think otherwise, to me anyway. How do you go about deciding what videos you're going to debunk?
So I put up a vote for my members and patrons, and I put up 3 channels that I would like to react to, and I let them get the final say. However, I also just do a video sometimes that I want to do, and there's been a few of those lately. I will, if I've got any of my members and patrons listening right now, I am going to get back onto the vote. Don't get thrown on, guys. But sometimes it's literally a topic that just interests me. So I can actually say this now, and maybe a bit of an exclusive for you. So I uploaded my Twin Paranormal video, was the one I uploaded about, I think, 5 or 6 hours ago now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was not up for the vote because they went to Steve's House of the Dead, and I've done some videos on Steve's House of the Dead before.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the whole thing would be very funny, very entertaining to make a video on. So I didn't even want to put that one up to the vote because I wanted to make that video. And
Right.
this is the kind of thing, if I want to make a video, I will. But then if there's like a few, that one, or that one, I'll happy regardless. I'll put it up for the vote. So the next video I'm working on is also not on the vote. So this will be 3 in a row that are not on the vote. But the next one's going to be, and I'm actually interested to see what people think about this, Amy's Crypt.
Oh, very cool.
So I'm going to do a video on Amy's Crypt and where she collaborated with Chris Starr. Because sometimes it just comes to making a video because I've got some things to say about that, so I'll just make a video on it because I've got some things to say. So it's very early stages. I've still got a lot of work to do on that video, but yeah, that's the next video. And I try to get a video out on average once every 6 days. I try to keep it under a week, but it's not always easy to do.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, how do you balance that? You know, you've got this this schedule that you've set for yourself. How do you keep doing that? How do you keep yourself motivated to do that?
I enjoy it, and I enjoy a lot of the comments I get from people. I enjoy being part of this community. I enjoy the film or video making process. It's a really fun, creative outlet to have, and I'm flattered that so many people seem to enjoy what I do. It's flattering. So I try. Unfortunately, I can't do a video as quickly as someone like Beardo. Beardo, great debunker, can knock out a video very quickly. This is one of the drawbacks of not going on camera. Just all those cuts and all those, the way I do a video and all the rest of it just takes longer for me. And I wish I could get them out quicker, but unfortunately, a lot of the time I can't. So I just keep working at it. But I enjoy it. I enjoy the process.
Yeah. Well, and can you explain a bit about what that process of researching and creating a debunking video is like?
Yeah, so sometimes the hardest part can be finding the right video. You've got a channel, but you need to find the right video. Mm-hmm. And that can take a long time of just watching rubbish all over. So that's one of the nice things about the Amy's Crypt one, is that I knew instantly the video I wanted to do. I was like, okay, you know, I want to talk about this topic of who she's been collaborating with lately. I can either do Kelsey Davis or Chris Starr. I've done a Kelsey Davis video before, so I'm going to do Chris Starr. There you go, boom, easy. The Twin Paranormal one. As soon as I realized the Twin Paranormal going to see Steve from the House of the Dead, I had to do it. Easy. But the person who's won, so the next video I'm going to do of someone who won the vote is going to be Mo Sargi. That's already been announced in a previous video. That one's a bit harder because the guy's been around for like 6 or 7 or 8 years. He's been around for ages, and he's got probably thousands of videos out at this rate. Okay. And it's like, where do you go from that? So I try and keep it at the more recent ones because God knows there's probably things if I'm blessed enough to do this channel for a couple more years, there's probably going to be stuff that I said in my early videos that I might regret saying. So it's only fair, I think, to judge them on their more recent videos. That's just my opinion, unless it's something really, really egregious. Right. But it's funny, Mo Sargi went from like getting possessed each week and just the most over-the-top hammy acting to now just being far more calm. I mean, it's all nonsense, but it's far more calm and measured compared to what it used to be. So I bring all that sort of stuff up in my videos as well.
Right. Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to that. I did mean to mention that, yeah, you have just put out a new video. It's only been up for probably about 6 hours at this point, maybe. And once we're done, I'm sure this evening I'll be watching that video too. Because as soon as you put out a video, man, I have to watch it. I just love your format. I love your perfectly timed movie quotes that you throw up. And when I can't remember which one it was, but I remember watching one of your earlier videos, and you were I can't remember what the clip was even at this point, but it might have been something from like Animaniacs or something from the 90s, and I was like, this guy's got to be close to my age. And that made me relate to you a little bit more, and then the more you did it, the more I was like, yeah, this guy knows what he knows what's up. You've got the perfect, and I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass. It's just you have the perfect combination of wit and charm and humor, and I absolutely adore it, and I adore you for it very much.
That's very flattering of you. Thank you very much.
No problem. Since we're 45 minutes in, we've got 45 minutes left. We're going to go ahead and switch to the questions segment of the show, and I'm going to go ahead and put that link in the chat right now. I'm going to pin it to the top, and if somebody would like to come up and ask Side-Eye Guy a question, just go ahead and click that link, or you can just put Q in your chat right now, and I'll read the question for Sag to answer, and we'll do this for the next 45 minutes because he's got to go. He's got stuff to do, and again, I appreciate all your time. I'll go ahead and get it started. So you've been collaborating with different channels. Do you have somebody that you collaborated with that you enjoyed the most? I mean, not to say that you didn't enjoy all of it, but was there anything that happened with anybody, or did you have certain kind of chemistry with somebody that you just it impacted you?
Before I answer that, I want to say that I'm very fortunate. I haven't done too many collaborations, but the ones I've done, I've enjoyed every one of them. There's been people I've really made some very good friendships with, people I've had a lot of fun with. The locations we went to was fantastic. Like I had a lot of fun with Josh, Paranormal Seekers, Dawson Tola, Joe, Dawn, and their son Noah. Weeping Willow Paranormal, a lot of fun. Kenny Biddle is a lot of fun to hang out with as well, of course.
Yeah.
I've probably already forgotten people I was with in America, which is going to be really bad. Oh, Nightmare Nation. There's been a lot of people that I had a lot of fun with.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with Adelaide Haunted Horizons, though. I had a lot of fun with the crazy aunts from Oz. We did 3 videos over in Adelaide, in Australia, and I really did have a lot of fun with them.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't mean to put you on the spot there. It's interesting to hear.
No, it's quite all right.
Yeah.
I just don't want anyone to come back to me and kind of go, "What about me?" I was like, honestly. Yeah. I've been very fortunate. I haven't had any awkward or bad experiences collaborating with anyone. I've had a good time every place I went to with everyone involved.
Brian Reinhardt asks, he says, can you debunk infield? I think more like, would you be willing to debunk the infield case, or? So
there's 2 infields. There's one in America.
I imagine he means the one.
Yeah, I'm imagining the one in the UK. I mean, it's going to be hard to debunk it. There's aspects of it I think we can debunk. Well,
sure.
In that one of the girls was caught and admitted faking evidence. However, and I've talked to Dawson Toda about this in the past, I don't necessarily think that means that you can rule out the fact that it was haunted. I can understand the psychology of we have been experiencing things we don't understand, but if we don't create something, these people won't help us.
Right.
So I can understand why a child would do something like that. However, you can't rule out the possibility that they faked everything. So,
right.
That's a tough one. There's also the big one that, when the Warrens came over, they were sent packing straight away. Obviously, the movies depict that they had a much, much bigger hand in the Enfield case than they really did. And allegedly, Ed Warren said to Guy something claimed you. I can't remember the guy's name, who was like the lead investigator. From the top of my head, it's like Guy Leon Playview, I believe it is. Guy Leon Playview. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was the lead investigator in the Enfield case. And he allegedly said that Ed Warren came up to him and said, "You can make a lot of money out of this." And then he sent it packing. So that's a big debunk in itself. But the Warrens were not, as always with the Warrens, they were not as involved in that case as they like to make out they were. It's going to be very difficult to debunk that right now because, as far as I'm aware, they don't allow people in the house. Whoever the current occupants of the house don't allow investigations. They don't like talking about it. So that's that with that, which is a shame. It's a big loss to the paranormal world somewhere like Enfield.
Right. Yeah, being able to come in at all. I mean, that's the best way to go about debunking, is going there and seeing if you can figure it out for yourself. But yeah, we're not always blessed with that ability. Stephanie Blackie asks, who would you like to collaborate with the most, if you could pick anyone, except the twins, obviously?
Mila Kunis?
Yeah.
So I announced this on my channel the other day.
I'd watch that.
I am going to be collaborating. There's going to be a three-way collaboration with myself, the fantastic Beardo Gets Scared, and Mythos Paranormal.
Oh, super cool.
We are all going, when I'm in the UK, we're all going to be going to the Ancient Ram Inn.
That's going to be epic. I can't wait to see that.
But like I'm happy to collaborate, and actually this is something I'm actually going to talk about in my Amy's Trip one, about the where I stand with collaborations in general. I'm not quite as militant on who I would and would not collaborate with as someone like Beardo is, and that's absolutely fine. We have very different approaches and opinions on the paranormal. For me personally, I would collaborate with anyone that I think would be fun.
Yeah.
I would collaborate with a known faker, no problem, if I could catch him out. In my last video, I outright said that I would go to Steve's House of the Dead, knowing full well that it's fake. I got no problem doing that. I got no problem collaborating with someone if they're fake, and if I can show that they're faking. Sorry, guys, it might embarrass you, but I will show it. But it all comes down to if I can have fun with the video.
Yeah.
If I can have fun on that night, I wouldn't collaborate with someone that I just wouldn't get along with. So, like, no matter how fake, obviously Twin Paranormal, couldn't think of anything worse.
Yeah.
It'd be a night of hell.
Right.
So it very much depends.
We've got a caller here, Teshi, who is no stranger to calling in. He's going to step on the stage with you and ask a question. Welcome to the show, Teshi. How are you? I've got no audio from you, man. No audio. No audio. I'm going to take you off. I'm going to give you a few...
I'm not the weirdest looking person on the screen right now.
I'm going to take you off for a bit. Get yourself reevaluated. I'm going to move on to the next caller, which is Rob. Rob, how you doing? You're on the show.
I'm great, man. You?
I'm doing great, my friend. Thanks for calling in.
So my question to you is, have you ever thought about colouring in your mask or not?
Colouring it? Oh, I can maybe let my kids run riot on one of them, and it'll probably...
Colour them in the face, isn't it? So it looks more skin coloured.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
You could go out and get some sun.
I don't know. I think that'd be even creepier.
And my other question is, who's your all-time hero?
My dad.
Good answer. Good answer. Yeah. I feel that myself.
If we're talking like a sort of like celebrity kind of thing, it's going to be kind of difficult. I don't really care about celebrities in a...
yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, there's people who I admire. I don't know, it's like a hero. As a Chelsea fan, I'm a big... I've always loved Gianfranco Zola. He might be up there as a kid. But yeah, if I had to give it to someone, fair enough. If I had to give that to anyone, it would be my dad.
Yeah. This is a terrific answer. I love that answer. Rob, I love that SG you've got in the background. Phenomenal guitar. I appreciate your question, my friend.
Cool.
All right, my friend. We'll see you in
All the best, Rob.
Yep. Have a good evening.
Cheers.
I love Rob. He's always around in all the live streams. He's a good moderator for me as well. Brian Reinhardt asks, how do you reconcile so little happening at haunted spots to chaos of old cases reported with things moving and sounds, etc.?
So that's an interesting question. The best, from what I understand, maybe some people can correct me here, the best cases we have of the paranormal are usually residential, in that people have lived in one particular location, a house or whatever, for an extensive period of time, and then things have happened over that time. Now, it might sound like a lot has happened, but if you've got like a handful of stories and you've been living in a property for a year, then over 365 days you might have had 10 creepy nights. Now, a lot of people might say 10 creepy nights is a lot if you live there for a year, but if you're going to investigate, it's more than likely you're going to be one of those 355 days of the year and not one of the 10.
Yeah.
So, for anything to happen in general is rare. But anything that happen when you're there for one night, I don't think that can when I went to the Bel Air house, nothing happened. Nothing. Can I say that place is not haunted? No, because I was there for one night. I haven't lived there. I haven't been there as long as like Kristen obviously has. Mm-hmm. There'll be some people that might stay there for a very long time. I can't judge a place on one night. I can only judge what I experienced on that night.
Yeah, well, which is fair. But yeah, being able to say is it haunted or not, and leaving it at the answer I don't know. Well, then that's the best thing you can do, rather than try to just sound smart.
Yeah, you can say I don't know. All you can say is really I didn't experience anything.
Exactly.
Or I did experience something.
Yeah.
So it's just, but this is the burden of proof goes on someone who, if the person is claiming the place is haunted, the burden of proof is on that person to prove it's haunted, really, to kind of back their claims. However, for me personally, like if a lot of people have claimed somewhere's haunted and I didn't experience something, can I say it's definitely not haunted? No, but I could say that about literally anywhere.
Yeah, yeah. We've got another call. Well, Teshi looks like he might have his self squared away. Welcome again, Teshi. How are you? Can we hear you this time?
Test.
Yeah, we got you. We can hear you just fine.
Hi.
How you doing?
Teshi?
Hello, cartoon head boy.
Hello, cat head boy.
Yes, I am the weirder one here. Well, my question is real quick. I've been asking it for everybody. Is where do you see the debunking going in the future? What would you like to see us do more of?
Good question. I'd like to see us work with more investigators, more. That's what I'd like to see, because I don't think, and it's an argument I keep hearing a lot for people who don't like debunkers, is that we're couch potatoes, that we don't get off our arse and get out there and get our hands dirty, and I don't think that's true. I think almost every debunker, there might be a couple like here and there that haven't been on investigations, but the vast majority of debunkers have. And I don't think there's a big difference between a debunker and a real paranormal investigator. Mm-hmm. They should go hand in hand, so we should get along. The people who don't like us are the ones who either have something to hide or have been called out in a way that they can't handle.
Yeah.
So you'll see this more and more now. It's like, we like I'm willing to do a video with almost anyone I can say earlier, anyone I can get along with. I'll do a video with them, even if I suspect them of faking. I'm okay with doing a video, and I can see how they do it in that moment. I honestly, God, think that is the best way to take this forward. Like I personally, again, everyone's got their own way to do that. I'm not going to knock anyone for how they want to run their channel, how they want to run the way that they, who they decide to investigate with. I am perfectly fine with investigating with someone who a lot of people think are fake, as long as I get along with them. And I think the best way to expose that or to see how it's done is to put your money where your mouth is and go out for an evening with them.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Well, now when you see my name, you'll have the nightmare fuel to go meditate.
Yeah, face to the name now. All right, Teshi, I appreciate you. It's always a pleasure. I love that you come in here and ask questions.
Thanks,
you- Yep, have a good one. Right. Well, there we go. We've got a question from Air Force One. Do you get tired of seeing the same places as investigated over and over and over again?
There are quite a lot. Yes, I can see what you mean by that. There are quite a lot of places, though. Really. Yeah, I think. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And this might sound rich coming from me, considering I was there, but I am. Maybe because I was there, I feel this way. I'm a little bit tired of the Conjuring House.
Right. Yeah.
But in saying that, I could do my own video when I was at the Conjuring House, so I'm a bit of a hypocrite maybe. But the Conjuring House is everywhere.
Yeah.
And it has been for years now.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't know. In saying that, sometimes it can be interesting if a group goes there and then, a trustworthy group, and then another group goes and they get very similar kind of responses or occurrences that happen. That could be quite interesting. I guess it depends, but there are a lot of different locations out there.
Yeah. Anna Banana 86, thank you for the $5 super sticker. I appreciate that very much. You are an absolute legend. And I notice you. I see you. Brian Hart asks, will you use artificial intelligence to analyze all the video footage for strange occurrences? I believe it will be able to watch all video and audio in record time and point out anomalies. There is something like that. I don't know if you use Premiere Pro or not, but Premiere Pro can detect cuts and edits now, which I think is a wonderful tool for a debunker. So I think he means something along the lines of that. Is that a tool that you think you would use, or have you even thought about that?
Yeah, I'll be honest. For those of you close to my channel, I'm not very good with technology, so I've got to figure out how to use all that sort of stuff, which I might have to do because I think that is going to be the future of. I think the future of debunking is going to be AI photography and AI, videos. That's coming, and when that comes, 100% there'll be using AI to fake ghost hunts. Now, funny enough, we should bring this up. In the Mosaji video I'm going to do, so I'm halfway done that, and I've just had to shelve it for a little while. He actually uses AI to fake something in that, but it's ChatGPT. So he uses ChatGPT, and I won't get. It's so incredibly stupid, but he uses that to fake chat. I'm not kidding. ChatGPT to get possessed by a ghost, and
wow.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So they're already obviously now it's very amateur and it's very obvious what they're doing. It's quite ham-fisted and well, frankly, pathetic. But eventually, they'll learn from it. It'll be lots of trial and error, and it will get far more sophisticated.
Yes, yeah.
So so debunkers have to match that by learning how to spot really sophisticated AI faking.
Yeah, keep you on your toes. They'll do anything, won't they? But
if there's money to be made out of it, yes, they will.
Yeah,
yes.
Right. That's one of the things, right? Like, why do people fake things? I mean, I think we both agree. I think the major thing is attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never, I've always said this on my channel. Never, ever underestimate the drug of attention. Ever.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
attention
it'll do it.
is the number one drug.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll do it. And once the attention starts rolling in, well, it just becomes that pushes your grind, which that alone in itself, the YouTube grind can be a drug, you know, and it just feeds itself over and over. What do you go ahead?
I'm not going anywhere.
Okay,
I just
right.
need a glass of water. Carry
Gotcha.
on.
What do you enjoy most about making people laugh through your videos, and why is that what's important to you?
Sorry, let me go. I'll just put the mask back on. 2 seconds.
All right. Thank you, Stacking with Kraken, for the subscription. I appreciate you very much.
This is all going to sound kind of wanky, but I do believe making people laugh is the best feeling. It makes me feel good to when I get comments back by people saying that I've made their day, and you know they're having a crap day or a crap week, and they watch one of my videos and they could have a laugh. It's a great feeling, and to me, the world needs more laughter. The world needs more. And if I can kill two birds with one stone and make people feel good and make them laugh while exposing fraudsters and fakers and liars and cheats and scammers, it's a win-win.
Yeah.
I'm going to do two things that I take a lot of pride in doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're very good at it. I mean, you're very good. I mean...
And sorry, I'll also say as well, I think if you can convey your message and your argument with laughter or with jokes or stuff, you know, and I understand, I'm not sitting there saying like I'm bloody amazing. I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't like the humour. I'm sure of that. And that's absolutely fine. Comedy is subjective. But if you can at least attempt what you're trying to do with humour, you'll find that you can really, really say what you mean, and it diffuses people from getting like it diffuses a lot of people from getting really angry at you, or it diffuses people when they want to maybe send you some sort of threat or illegal some sort of legal stuff. I don't get as much of that as some other debunkers. So I do think to at least attempt to make it a bit light, because you can make it light, or you can make you can make it funny but still aggressive, if you know what I mean. Like, you don't have to hold back, still make it it's clearly a comedy. And like a good example of that would be like my Yasko videos or the Ghost Club Paranormal, where the humor is me getting angry. The humor is like me kind of like reaching this boiling point, and it just kind of I just sort of like explode, and I'm starting yelling, I'm ranting and raving. That's obviously part of the humor. That's but you can get away with saying some things there that other people, if they didn't have it with a humorous spin on it, might get in more trouble with. That's what I think anyway.
Yeah, good point. And I think the power of laughter, there's something to be said about it. And obviously you can embrace that very well. I've been asked by Stacking with Kraken, why do you have StreamYard up? I imagine they mean the link above. That is your call-in link. If you have a question you want to call in, be on the stage, like our next caller, who I'll bring up in just a second. You just click on that link and you can come up here and ask Seg a question if you would like to. Which, moving along to our next caller, Wayne Dawson, who has been on the show before. How you doing, Wayne? You have a question for Seg?
Hey, Wayne.
I'm good, thanks, Jimmy. How is you?
I'm hanging in there.
Good. Seg, you okay?
I'm well, thank you, mate. How are you?
Yeah, doing great, thanks. Doing great. I'd just like to know, do you think there's any real paranormal evidence on YouTube at the minute?
Is that a Leeds? Is that Leeds?
It is, yes.
Oh, I'll shoot. Yeah, we won't talk football. We won't get along. Sorry, can you repeat the question? Sorry, I couldn't concentrate over the Leeds shirt.
Well, that's fine. Do you think there's any real paranormal evidence on YouTube?
It's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
There's been definitely some things that people have sent me that I can't explain. There's been things that happen in videos, which I think I've said in the videos, hey, I don't know what that is, and that's interesting. That's an interesting thing that's happened. Evidence, though, is a strong word. There's been things that have happened that, just because I can't explain something doesn't necessarily make it evidence, but it is those things that I can't explain that get me excited. They're the ones that I'm like, that's awesome. Like, I love seeing those things.
Yeah.
Where it's not like, where it's like, okay, well, you understand the physics wouldn't make it do this, so you don't understand. A big one for me, and I know a lot of people say string, but after me working with them, I know they don't do that, is when the doll fell from the stairs on 30 East Drive with Adelaide Haunted Horizons. I'm not sure if anyone's seen that. I think that's awesome. I think that's something that's awesome, because the way that doll falls, I'm not sure if you guys have seen it, but if you haven't, Beardo covered it a while back. The way the doll falls, it's completely unnatural.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Like that happened, it's like, Christ, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
Am I going to go as far as to say that that's evidence of the paranormal? Not necessarily, but it's definitely exciting. And that's ultimately, even if I don't have like an out-and-out paranormal experience, I at least want to have something that's exciting.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Right on.
I'm interested. What about you? Is there anything in particular on YouTube for you two that you think is that, or not? I mean, I don't know. Again, you might consider it evidence. I don't know, but like you would say, is like something very compelling.
I think for me, the one that Jason Hawes recorded, the silhouette figure outside the building. I can't remember which one, but that looks really
not the lighthouse.
Realistic. It could be that one. I can't remember which though.
Yeah, the lighthouse one for me is very interesting, where you're looking up.
Yeah.
They're looking up, and you can see this thing peeking over. But I think more impressive than that is the one that they caught at Eastern State Penitentiary, where it straight up looks like Obi-Wan Kenobi just forms out of nowhere and then darts down this hall. It's like a robed figure. It just kind of it forms very quickly, and then it darts down. Yeah, that one's really good as far as evidence goes. I think that those two pieces of evidence, the lighthouse and the Eastern State Penitentiary, I think are both, at the very least, extremely interesting. Extremely interesting.
Yeah.
I'm also a sucker for EVPs. I love EVPs. But because
I like EVPs when they're not from a device.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, like a spirit box or whatever, but like actually something that's recorded that shouldn't have been there.
Or like a DR60 type of
totally. Right.
I don't like any of that, but like if you could just hear it and you caught it on camera, you can play it back. That's far more interesting to me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, anything with the DR60, I immediately just write off. I don't care how real it might be. I just write it off because of the history. Yeah. Right on, Wayne. Well, I appreciate you coming on to the show and asking your question.
Thanks, Wayne.
Thanks very much.
Yep.
You
have a great evening.
Get that shirt off.
Faith Burris is asking, do you feel being open to collabing with known fakers would diminish your credibility, as you are first and foremost a debunker?
Well, I explained. There's two things on that. For me personally, I don't think so, because I just make a lot of dick and fart jokes. I don't think I'm necessarily the guy to look for like highbrow content of the paranormal. First off, I'm not even sure I believe in it. Secondly, so my attitude is I like to have fun, and I like to meet people I think I can have fun with. Now, like I say, if me and first and foremost as a debunker is to catch people either to share a more irrational explanation, because not all the time being a debunker means I'm saying someone is fake. But if I do collaborate with someone who is known for being, or is heavily suspected for being fake, now maybe they'll be on their best behavior with me, but I think that in and of itself is interesting. So if they know, like, most weeks something crazy happens to them, they go on an investigation with me and nothing happens, that in and of itself tells you all you got to know, really. Even if I can't see anything, because they're with me, they'll be on their best behavior. If nothing happens, I think we can read into that in and of itself.
Right.
And I honestly think if we want to kind of like, there's a lot of talks about us like, bridging a gap between ghost hunters and debunkers, and that's the best way of doing it, is to actually go out in the field with them.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. That's how I feel. I've got no, but like ultimately it comes down to is like I'm not going to spend like I'm not going to spend 12 hours with someone I don't like.
Yeah.
So it's going to come down to like ultimately I got to like that person or that group.
Yeah, and I think having a debunker along with you on your investigations is I think it makes you more credible in the first place. I mean, I think it leans towards these people may not have anything to hide after all. But of course, who knows where that? Yeah,
and
who knows
I
where
also
that goes?
think there's another thing as well. It's like if you're thought of as being fake and you genuinely don't think you are fake, then you should be given an opportunity. First of all, if you've got the bravery to bring a debunker along, I respect that. And if you think you've been misrepresented, you should be given the opportunity to prove your case.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do. I'm aware there are plenty of channels that would have absolutely no interest in a known skeptic or debunker joining them. I know that.
Right.
For sure. Because they got a lot to hide.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't want it. But there's some out there that are thought of as being fake, and I've even suspected them of being fake, who are open to having debunks on there. Now, there might be some channels that don't want to entertain that idea, but I'm not one of them, personally.
Yeah. Brian Reinhardt asks, question, who would win, the ghost of Amityville or the ghost of the Enfield? Match of the century.
Oh. Amityville.
Yeah. Have you seen the documentary My Amityville Horror? Have you seen that?
I think, is it old?
It's older, yeah. Basically, it's the little kid Danny who's all grown up now, and
right.
he's telling his side of the story, and Lorraine Warren shows up.
Like the Naughties documentary.
I'm not sure. I know it was really well done.
Yeah, I think I had seen it, but it was a while ago.
Yeah, that one's, if you're interested in the Amityville Horror, I think that's a perfect one to watch because it kind of speaks for itself. There's a lot of craziness in that documentary where it really feels like Danny is kind of debunking himself, but not realizing it, in the moment.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a very good documentary because it's on the completely. They just ask him questions and let him talk, and when you do that, you really see a lot about somebody when you let them do that. AA asks, what was it that made you want to start Debunk the Paranormal? We actually did answer that question earlier in the episode, so we're not gonna spend any time on that. We've only got a limited amount of time with him yet. We've only got about 15 minutes. Rob, the caller who was in here earlier, he's asking, have you ever recovered from your investigation with Cag and Allison? They broke you, Sag. I didn't think it was possible.
No. No, I still haven't. I'm still traumatized.
Brian Reinhardt's asking, should cemeteries be the most haunted? Why not set up shop in the local cemetery for a week and get evidence?
That's one of the things I keep bringing up about with in my videos. It's the inconsistent lore, L-O-R-E, of ghosts. 1 minute, I hear cemeteries are supposed to be haunted. And other people go, well, why would a ghost haunt a cemetery? They would go to where they died, like the place where they died. And then I hear, no, it's not the place where they died, it's wherever something significant happened in their lives. And I don't know about you, but I'm middle-aged. I've had enough significant moments in my life where I couldn't just pick one.
Yeah.
So, it's like, it's where they committed a murder maybe. And I'm like, why? And then sometimes I'm also, they're often trapped between four walls or within a building, within a house. Why can't they just roam wherever they want? Why do they always seem to be trapped? there's a lot about this I don't understand, and it does just feel like the law will go with whatever makes money. So they like, the reason why this ghost is staying in this house is because you need to pay money to go in this house. And if for some reason we're going to say the ghost doesn't leave this house or is trapped in this house, then you always like are thinking you're speaking to a ghost that has to be in this house.
Right.
But why is that ghost not where, you know, it died?
Yeah.
Or not where it was buried?
Yeah, reasonable question.
I don't understand. I don't understand the argument for it.
Yeah. Oh, we've got some callers here. I've got one that I'm looking at right now, and I'm debating whether or not I should bring him on, but I think I will. He's called That Guy.
What up, Zach? What up, Jimmy? You guys are awesome. Much love to the chat. I did have a question, Zach. What do you think the funniest skit is or joke that you've told in one of your episodes? Mine is the accidentally drawn penis flashlight. What's yours?
Oh, you dickhead.
Excuse me.
I gotta admit, I quite like that one. That was an old one. That was like in my third or fourth video, I think.
I lost it when I seen that. I spent the next 5 minutes laughing my ass off.
I need to bring that back somehow because a lot of people haven't seen those old early videos. Favorite joke. This is going to sound really silly, but in my latest video, the one on Twin Paranormal, there's a moment, and when I thought of this joke, it's going to sound very self-indulgent and quite pretentious, but I just laughed to myself for ages because it's a really bad dad joke, but I love a dad joke. And it was like one moment, like I think Wyatt or River or someone like that said, like, we put a REM pod in a wheelchair. If you want to communicate, talk to the REM pod in the wheelchair. And I just came back and I said, it's like, oh my God, what happened to that REM pod? Will it ever walk again? I just thought,
well, hey, thank you
it's
so
such a
much
crap
for
joke. But honest to God, when I came up, I couldn't stop laughing to myself.
Good dad jokes are the best. I always liked, this is my step ladder. I never knew my real ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic. Yeah.
Right. Well, that guy.
There's been a few other jokes where like they've been like long-standing jokes, I suppose, which kind of go over like the course of a video. Like Twin Eye Guy is one that, or the one with the latest Mind Seed where I put up quotes, like silly quotes.
Oh yes. Yeah.
You know, like things like that.
That one hit me pretty good too because
jokes too, like a joke with some repetition.
Yeah, the ones with the quotes at the beginning of that hit me because that's how my like last two episodes of my documentary start, and I had to laugh because it's, you know what I mean, like I'm guilty, you know. But yeah, those are really good jokes. Those are really good.
Well,
that
hey
guy,
guys, thank you so much for answering my questions. Again, much love to you, all of you. Thank you for having this guy on.
Yeah, no, and thanks for coming on and asking a question, my friend.
Thanks
I appreciate you.
very much, Nobed.
Have a good night.
Bye.
We've got another caller, Michael Burkeen. Welcome to the show. You got a question for Seg?
Hey, Michael.
Yeah. Hey, Seg. I was wondering, what's your least favorite paranormal experience that you had since you became an investigator?
Oh. Getting tied up, getting handcuffed in the Bel Air house basement was pretty unpleasant. Especially when you don't know if you're actually going to be let out or not.
Right.
There was
First of all, thank you guys for answering.
No, actually, what am I talking about? That's not a contest. This hasn't been uploaded yet because I've been putting it off a little bit with all these new videos coming out. But with Adelaide Haunted Horizons, when we were at Adelaide Jail, they put me in an Estes session, and I'm waiting for them to tap me on the shoulder to say, all right, we're done now, and they didn't do it. And when you're in these Estes sessions, you kind of lose track of time. You kind of get into almost like a meditative sort of state. And I realized my shoulders and back were a bit sore. And then when they eventually, they didn't even tap me on the shoulder, they just shone a fucking flashlight in my eye. And because I'm wearing the mask, they couldn't see if my eyes were open. And I come to and they're like, "You've been in that exercise session for 30 minutes. What the hell? Tap me. Yeah, that was unpleasant. Doing an exercise session.
Thank you again for answering my question, Jimmy. It's Seg.
No problem, Michael. Thanks for calling in.
All right,
We
guys.
appreciate you. Yep. Have a good night. And for we've got one final question here, I think, from Teshi. Welcome back, Teshi. How you doing?
Hey, Tashi.
Doing all right. Hi again. I just had to ask, how the hell do you survive those annoying ones like the Twin Paranormal? I seen you must have watched that video a couple of times, and they are so annoying.
No. Twin Paranormal, I didn't. Twin Paranormal, I didn't even watch the last 20 minutes. Like when I say, "Oh, I'm cutting the video here," I actually do cut the video there. It could be the next 20 minutes could be amazing content. It could be a debunk, but more than likely, it's just the same old crap that I just watched for the previous 40 minutes, and I don't want to watch anymore. And I cut it. I actually do just cut it. And with the Twin Paranormal as well, some Twin Paranormals I have to watch to kind of go, "Oh, that's a good video," and that's not a good video. In fact, I will say the only video I started making that I've ever abandoned was Twin Paranormal at the Sally House. Because I thought it would be good. It was very, very, very early in my channel. And then I was like, this is actually terrible. It's not funny. It's really boring. And I just axed it. But with the one with House of the Dead, that was good because I knew I was going to do it. So I just was like, sometimes when you know you got to do a video, you just have to make it good. Luckily, with that one, it wasn't very difficult. It was a very easy video to react to. But so thankfully, that one I didn't need to watch it all the way through. I just knew I'm going to react to this as I go.
Yeah. Right on. All right, Teshi, does that answer your question? Right on. I appreciate you. Thanks for calling in again. I love it. So many callers. All right. Have a good evening. I love all the questions of the callers tonight. Honestly, this is a record. So I hope that this catches on. I can get more people to call in like this, because to me, this is the fun part of the show, when it's just kind of unscripted and people call in, and you have dickheads calling in, and you have tigers calling in, and who knows what's going to happen. So absolutely love it. I do want to ask one final question myself. What do you think is the most important quality for someone in your line of work to have?
Honesty.
No, lie to me.
Sorry?
I said no, lie to me.
No, that's the quality.
Honesty. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah.
I think you got to be honest when you're doing this stuff, and like honesty isn't just. It's got to be honest with your opinions. You got to be honest to yourself. You got to be consistent and honest with your audience. You got to be honest with your humor, how you want to, do. It comes down to just being honest with everyone around you, and you can't kind of compromise that.
Yeah, that's the best. I agree with you. I think when you're doing what you do, the whole point is to. I mean, everybody has a different angle when they're debunking, but I think when it comes to people like you or Beardo or Crow, there are people who have this interest. Some of us believe more than others, but when you're looking for the truth, even if the truth isn't what you want to hear, you need to have the integrity to say it regardless. So yeah, and it's one of the reasons why I appreciate the hell out of you, because you do tremendously at that. You really,
very much.
Yeah, very, very good. My friend, I appreciate you hanging out with us this evening. I'm going to go ahead and tell everybody goodbye, and we'll do game night tomorrow. I'm going to have to do game night tomorrow. I have my little boy with me tonight, unscheduled, so I know that that's going to break some hearts, but we will do it tomorrow, and it will be long. So I appreciate everybody. Until tomorrow.